Pakistan and Sri Lanka have agreed to enhance cooperation in countering terrorism and making joint efforts for debt relief in the wake of COVID-19. Understanding was reached during a joint press conference by Prime Minister Imran Khan and his Sri Lankan counterpart Mahinda Rajapaksa in Colombo after one-on-one delegation-level talks. Speaking on the occasion, Prime Minister Imran Khan said he directed members of the delegation to find means and ways to enhance trade and connectivity through CPEC that will help Sri Lanka to establish trading ties with Central Asia.
We also discussed other areas where we can enhance our trading ties. Pakistan suffered 10 years of the worst kind of terrorism where we lost 70,000 people. Sri Lanka for 30 years combated terrorism. Pakistan played its part in helping Sri Lanka to resolve this problem. We are also going to invite people from Sri Lanka to come over, and we are planning a Buddhist trail where all the great shrines and places, the Buddhist community, the religion, can come over to our country.
He said the enhanced trading ties will bring both countries together. The Prime Minister said both countries face the common problem of terrorism as Pakistan lost over 70,000 lives due to this menace. He noted that Sri Lanka suffered from terrorism for 30 years and expressed satisfaction that the country overcame the scourge with the help of Pakistan. He said developed countries must help developing countries to get debt relief as they have suffered the most due to COVID-19. Prime Minister stated that the pandemic exposed huge inequality in the world and called upon international bodies to step in to support poor countries. He invited Sri Lankan Prime Minister Rajapaksa to visit Pakistan as the country offered the biggest Buddhist heritage in the world. Prime Minister Imran Khan said Pakistan is planning to initiate projects to facilitate pilgrimage at Buddhist holy sites. Sri Lankan Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa thanked Prime Minister Imran Khan for opening Buddhist sites in Pakistan and lauded his efforts to end poverty.
We also agreed to pursue the opportunities presented within the framework of the Pakistan-Sri Lanka Free Trade Agreement. Our talks also focused on important regional and international issues as well as the impact of the coronavirus pandemic. We further agreed to work towards increasing activities in the tourism and aviation sectors.
He said they agreed to enhance cooperation in different sectors including economy, trade, investment, technology, defence and education. Sri Lankan Prime Minister said talks focused on important regional and international issues including impact of COVID-19. Prime Minister Rajapaksa said they also agreed to pursue the framework for Pakistan-Sri Lanka Free Trade Agreement.
Pakistan and Sri Lanka have signed 5 memoranda of understanding for cooperation in different sectors including science and technology, health, education and industry. The memoranda was signed in a ceremony held in Colombo and witnessed by Prime Minister Imran Khan and his Sri Lankan counterpart Mahinda Rajapaksa. The memoranda was signed between Boards of Investment of Pakistan and Sri Lanka, Sri Lankan Industrial Technology Institute and Pakistan's International Centre for Biological and Chemical Sciences. The University of Colombo and Lahore School of Economics also signed a memorandum of understanding. Prime Minister Imran Khan held one-on-one and delegation-level meetings with his Sri Lankan counterpart and his delegation in Colombo. The two sides discussed bilateral relations and regional situation. They also discussed bilateral cooperation in different sectors including education, health, trade and agriculture. Earlier, the Prime Minister arrived at Sri Lankan Prime Minister's office. Prime Minister Imran Khan was accorded red carpet welcome and Sri Lankan Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa received him.
During Prime Minister Imran Khan's official visit to Sri Lanka, Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi held an informal meeting with his Sri Lankan counterpart Dinesh Gunawardena in Colombo. The meeting discussed in detail matters of bilateral interest and cooperation. The Foreign Minister said there are vast opportunities Pakistan offers for investment in the fields of trade, health, education, agriculture and science and technology. Speaking on the occasion, the Sri Lankan Foreign Minister said Prime Minister Imran Khan's visit will further cement ties between the two countries. Bosnia.
Earlier, Sri Lankan Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa received the Prime Minister upon his arrival at the Bandaranaike International Airport. A smartly turned out contingent of Sri Lankan Armed Forces presented the Guard of Honour to the Prime Minister. Prime Minister Imran Khan inspected the Guard of Honour. National anthems of Pakistan and Sri Lanka were played. Later, the Sri Lankan Prime Minister introduced his cabinet to the Prime Minister Imran Khan. The Prime Minister also introduced his entourage to the Sri Lankan counterpart. Prime Minister Imran Khan is accompanied by Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi, Advisor on Commerce and Investment Abdul Razak Daud, and Special Assistant on Overseas Pakistanis Zulfikar Bukhari. During his visit, the Prime Minister will hold talks with Sri Lankan President Gotabaya Rajapaksa and his counterpart Mahinda Rajapaksa. At the high-level talks, the two sides will discuss ways to promote bilateral cooperation in diverse fields.